So quick story about LuGus Studios. We're a typical game company. We were founded 6 years ago. We're situated in Hasselt, Limburg. And we currently have 7 people working at the company full-time. The project we're mostly known for right now is Liftoff. It's a drone racing simulator. That's also the game that we showed at Gamescom last year. So this is Liftoff. I'm happy to show the game after the presentation if you want. It's an FPV, first-person view drone racing game. It's available on Steam, and it's been in development for almost 2 years. It's available in early access, so people can already buy it, and they already could when we went to Gamescom last year. So Gamescom, why did we go to Gamescom, or how did we plan everything? The truth is, in the beginning, we didn't plan on going to Gamescom at all. With Liftoff, we're targeting different audiences, gamers being one of them, but for us what's mostly important at that point, and still is right now, is we are aiming our product at a drone racing community, and so it made more sense to us to focus on going to race events and drone-related events. But still, I got contacted by David Verbrugge from Vlega, and he called me and said, like, yeah, someone canceled his space at Gamescom. We have some room for you guys if you want. And so I debated about it with my colleagues for a day, and we decided to go for it and said, like, this will be fun, this will be a good learning experience for us, and it definitely was. So of course we were in a bit of a panic because our decision to go to Gamescom was about the same time last year. It was actually very late. So first thing we did is just order a lot of these business cards. Actually, we brought 3 business cards with us, and I'm not saying you should have 3 different ones, but we have our regular business card for people interested in doing business, like publishers or investors. We had a card specifically about the product, about Liftoff. That's for PR people. And then we have a special business card. We only had a limited amount of them because they're a bit more expensive. They also double as a USB card, and it has our PR. It's a PR kit, you could say. We gave these to people that we felt that were really important to us, in a sense that at the end of Gamescom, you have like a tower of business cards. And what you do when you return home is you look at all these cards and you start throwing a lot of them away. You end up with the ones you feel could be important to you in the future. And we wanted to give these people a business card that they wouldn't throw away. So that was the idea behind that. So yeah, that's this. Of course, we made some T-shirts to look semi-professional or something like that. And we contacted a PR company. We worked with Swipe Right PR. They're from England. Our main reason for working with these guys specifically was mostly because we were late to the party. We contacted a lot of PR companies. Most didn't answer our emails. And those who did said they were already completely booked for Gamescom. And these guys still had some space for us. And we were actually really happy with how they helped us. So what did we ask them? Like, it was our first time going to Gamescom. We told them this would be a learning experience for us. And we wanted to experience everything. We just wanted to talk to everyone who had interest in looking at our products, in getting in touch with us. So we said, okay, arrange a lot of meetings for us. We're going there for 4 days. That's a lot of time we will be investing in this. So every minute has to be worth it. So they started emailing people and contacting people, and we were interested in both publishers, PR companies, investors, anything that might be interesting to us. And then, of course, we had to prepare to get everything there. I'm happy to hear that banners are not needed anymore, because we took some banners with us, and we had like a TV with us and a computer, and we had to pack everything and had to drive to the hall. And I think the whole Gamescom was an amazing experience, except for the first day when we had to go to the event. The drive was long, but that was okay. But when we arrived at the halls, we had to drive around for more than an hour, trying to get inside of the hall. And all security people, they didn't let us in, so they always said, like, you have to drive to that place and get in there, and that place and get in there. And so that was a bit frustrating. Eventually, we just said, like, sorry, security people, we're going to park here, get all our stuff, get it on the boot, and that was our only way of doing it eventually. So that might be something to look for this year, like how you get in the first place. Yeah. Anyway, so well, another important aspect about moving everything, we had to carry a lot of stuff, and we couldn't park just in front of the hall, so we had to carry a lot of stuff. So make everything as mobile as possible. Only take with you what is really needed. Put everything in big boxes so you can take it with you. You don't need banners, so that's already a big plus. So yeah, make everything as mobile as possible. And this was what the booth looked like for us. I mean, it's not a big area, but that was more than enough. So we had a TV, we had our banners, and it was cool to have these tables. And in general, what I would say is, the booth actually doesn't really matter that much. What matters is the product that you're going to show to the people. I mean, it's a product that people want to talk about, that will generate interest, and that's why they visit you, or that's why they might have a meeting with you. So that's the most important aspect. This was the first day of the event itself. So it's important to know for people who've never been to Gamescom, there's an entrance specifically for exhibitors. You can enter early before the big crowd enters the building, and this is also a big crowd, so be there as early as possible. What might be interesting to know is that this is like a Gamescom ticket. This also allows you to go on the train for free. So if you have a hotel in the city center and you have to take train to the city hall, I mean that shouldn't be an issue. So that's quite easy. So yeah, ticket, really important. I mean, this is like a golden key. This allows you to do a lot of things that normal visitors can do. In fact, we didn't have a lot of time to visit the actual events, and we were interested in seeing a lot of games as gamers, of course. And what this ticket allowed us to do is that when everyone was asked to go out of the halls, we sneaked in. We asked some of the booths, the guys from the big booths, like the Battlefield 1 booth, for example, like, okay, we're exhibitors. Can we have a quick look at the game? And so we didn't have to wait in line for 2 or 3 hours. So that's also what the ticket allows you to do, of course. And then the other cool aspect is because you're able to enter early, we had the whole event for only the exhibitors for more than an hour. So what we did was, before all our meetings, we explored the different halls, and we were looking at people, at companies like that might be interested to have an extra conversation with. So we left our business cards, and we tried to arrange some additional meetings. And so that's a really good advice. Explore the event and see who you might have missed before to arrange some additional meetings. So what the PR agency did for us was they arranged 30 meetings for us for 3 days. So that was my planning. I made a screenshot of all the websites of the people we had meetings with, just to check, like, okay, who are these people that we're meeting, and what are we going to talk about? And so we had constant meetings, and a meeting was between 15 to 30 minutes that we spent on them. In general, that was quite interesting to do this meeting. That's what the regular meeting looked like. They just came to our booth. We gave a quick presentation on a tablet, some goals we had with the project, and some things that we might want from them, for example, from the investors. And then we gave a quick hands-on demo. I do have to say, if you plan on getting a lot of meetings up front, be careful with print media. We had quite a few meetings with print media that seemed to be interested in our product. So we did a whole presentation, we did a hands-on demo, and then at the end of the presentation, they said, like, okay, so this is our magazine. We have space for you to advertise in, and that was a waste of time each time. I mean, your time at Gamescom is worth a lot, and that was a bit of a shame, of course. And we had that 3 or 4 times, so that was a bit annoying. And then, of course, from those 30 meetings, I think only 5 were actually interesting to us, and that on itself I feel is a success. And if I look back at it now a year later, none of them actually resulted in something definitive, but they did open the doors to other opportunities that we explored. The things that really that were really cool for us were the things that we didn't plan. So we met a lot of people just on the fly, casual conversations with people, and just every opportunity that came to us, we grabbed it, and so this is a picture of Sven Vinke. I think all of you know who Sven Vinken is. They made another Kickstarter video for Divinity Original Sin 2, and we were featured in it. So that gave us a lot of exposure, and that was really cool. And we got a lot of compliments and advice from Sven Vinke, so that was great. Somehow we managed to get nominated for a Game of the Show, something that I think is a bit crazy considering the amount of games, and especially since we're just a small company. And I did ask, they only handed out 5 of them on the whole of Gamescom, so we didn't win, but just being nominated was a really cool thing. Something I don't have a picture of it. I met some people from Valve. That was also cool, and I showed them the game. I was really nervous about that because I know that if they think your game is bad, they will just tell you. But they congratulated us and they asked us how they can help us. So we got an extra slot on Steam for a spin-off game of Liftoff. But now that's not needed anymore because since today Greenlight is not necessary, so anyone can do that. But still, that was a cool experience. And then that was a really cool part. On day 3, we got contacted by this guy. This is Holger Kreh, but if I say Holger to him, he will say, no, just say Holly. He's the marketing manager of Intel. And he contacted me on Facebook because we were very active on social media, and he said, like, hey guys, I'm a huge fan of Liftoff. I've been playing it for months. I just noticed you guys are on Gamescom. We have a big booth in the entertainment area. Come and visit us. So we told our PR people, like, okay, cancel all meetings. We're going to Intel, and that was the best and most amazing experience. So we got into the main hall, and you have to imagine the business area. It's crowded, but it's mostly business people, and it's not like the big audience, not specifically people looking to play games, but more into doing business. But in the entertainment area, that's really crazy. It's crowded, and people are waiting in lines for hours to play a game. And Intel had a booth in the middle of it, and was like a VIP place. And so when we arrived, he said, like, okay, I have a PC set up for you. You can play Liftoff here the whole day. And we did, because the people sitting next to us were all famous YouTubers with millions of subscribers, all taking a look at what we did. And we got a personal butler and drinks for free. So that, I mean, in general, it was amazing. But what was really cool to us, I can consider Holly to be a friend right now. And him inviting us, we were actually not sure if we would go to his booth because we had some meetings planned. We canceled those meetings, and that was a bit of a risk, but that's what I mean. We got an opportunity, and we went for that opportunity, and that opened a lot of doors for us because his good friend is the CEO of ESL, the Electronic Sports League, someone we wanted to talk to but didn't imagine was possible for us to do. So we talked to that guy, and that's now a good contact for us. And yeah, so this is actually Marcus. He's a famous Quake 3 player. I have to say I didn't know him before, but now I do. He played Liftoff the whole time, and that was cool. And of course, another, that's a bit of a different story, but this is my colleague Tom. He doesn't always look like that, but he does when he has German beer. So an important advice, when we went to Gamescom, we said, like, okay, we have 30 meetings, and that's going to be it. but the real business happens at the after parties. So there's a lot of, I mean, the Belgian booth does one with Belgian beers, and that's popular. But you have different booths doing different parties. And we often got invited after meetings, like, hey, come join us for a drink after when the day ends, so we can talk some more. And that's what we noticed. That's where a lot of business actually happens. But of course, another general advice, this was the day after. Take care of yourself. So I mean, this is heavy. Going to Gamescom is heavy. So eat well and get enough sleep. And I mean, you're doing meetings constantly. So present yourself in a professional way, of course. I can assure you this was an act, not a real thing. And so what did we end up with after Gamescom? This, for example, this was I think 3 months ago. We got a booth at Cebit. That's another huge fair. I think it's one of the biggest tech fairs in the world. It's in Hanover, and that was a huge booth, completely paid by Intel. And we were able to show the game for a full week to drone enthusiasts. And we were actually, the booth next to our booth was from DJI, and DJI is considered to be it's the biggest company within the commercial drone industry. And that was amazing, just having a booth next to them. This is not the only fair that we were able to do. I mean, we've been to a couple of fairs, and that was all as a result of having good partnerships that started at Gamescom. So that's mostly what we got out of it. And of course, being able to show this to many more people, like potential new customers. After each event, we see a nice peak in sales for Liftoff. So that's also a big success, of course. So yeah, I think that's my story in general. As I said, it's specifically based on my personal experience. Your experience might be different, and you might have different goals. But I'm happy to hear your questions, or you can ask them now or at any time when I'm here, of course.